and you're neglecting everything else. What the people are trying to help you. Be open-minded to listen. You know, look, listen, and learn, love, life, loyalty. That's those.
Wait. Say it again.
Look, listen, and learn, love, life, loyalty. You
look, listen, learn, love, life, loyalty.
Right.
Okay.
You look, you listen, you learn. You know what I'm saying? You love life and you loyal to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Level Up Podcast. This is yours truly, the real Jeanna, and I'm so excited today to be with another amazing gentleman. This podcast is focused on community and entrepreneurship. And so with that being said, we're just going to jump right into it. I'm here with an amazing gentleman here today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, and you can take it away.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
I'm Freddy Fletcher, aka Bama. I'm Alabama born, but I'm internationally known.
Say it again. Alabama what?
Alabama born, but I'm internationally known.
Okay.
Internationally known. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good deal. So I have not known this gentleman too much. I have not known him that long. However, his energy is dope, and he's doing a lot of great things for the community. And so I just felt like it would be a good thing to bring him on to share his story and tell a little bit about what he does. And he has passion behind when he talks. So we might get into a few things that I think you guys will like. And so tell us a little bit about how it started, though. You said you were born here, but you're internationally known. What does that entail?
I mean, that everybody that we cross paths with in life has a journey, which my journey initially started here from birth. But from adolescent years, etc., it's been St. Louis and all over the world. And just recently been moved back here for everything has a time, you know, for growth.
Right.
Yeah.
So you moved back here from St. Louis. What brought you back here?
I moved back here initially because my grandmother, which that makes you, sleep well and sleep in peace, or whatever it is, everybody may be, little slogans that they may have. But I moved back here for her so that my daughters could be around her.
Okay.
And ask her questions and, to pick her brain and just figure out things. And, we lost her last year. So, but yeah, we just decided to stick around, and it's nice.
Nice. Awesome. And so you have a gym, right? Correct?
Two gyms.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 gyms.
My bad. No.
It's all good. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not the owner of them. I mean, no, I should be the owner, but I'm not. I mean, okay. I pay you booth rent just like everybody else do. But the initial goal is to actually own my own.
Right, for sure.
To be able to help the community, not just in my generation, but for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? To give them an upper leg on life, something that me as a young black man didn't have growing up. So.
Right. So you do only workout, like what exactly do you do in the gym? You train, right?
Right.
What exactly do you offer?
Well, I offer whatever is necessary to, the client or whatever. Okay. Some people have different goals. A lot of people want to just lose weight. And the biggest thing is figuring out how to adjust their eating habits around the way they work out.
Right. Okay.
So, and everybody has different goals. A lot of people want to, guys want to get buff and big and all of that, and then you have women that want to just stay petite, and then you have people that want to be in shape that are actually athletes, and those are the more intense ones.
Gotcha.
Where when you're athlete because you're being competitive.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So you mentioned kickboxing too. So like you do fitness, meal plans, if I'm not mistaken, and then kickboxing. What else? No,
it's not kickboxing. It's boxing.
Just boxing. Okay.
Just boxing. Yeah, no. You use your feet to move out the way.
Okay.
Yeah, not to kick someone. You keep your feet to yourself.
Okay.
But it's boxing. And I'm under the tutelage and training of Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest to ever do it. He just asked me today, got inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So
Nice.
salute to him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, my
Okay.
homie, man. Appreciate that. That's real. Like,
That's
he's a dope individual, but yeah.
So how did you get into fitness? Are you an athlete or?
Yeah, at a young age, I played sports, and I excelled pretty well, but I didn't include working out into the program. But I just began to, over the last maybe 15 years or so, really found the balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because your body, as you get older, your limbs, you got to work them. So,
Yeah.
and I just fell in love with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. It's always good to be passionate about what you're doing, right?
You got to. Yeah, you don't know what you do, you shouldn't do it.
So within that, being an athlete and now a trainer, what do you think was one of the biggest, and it could be your career or life, but what was the biggest failure that you think you've had and what did you learn from it?
I felt like the biggest thing that I felt that was, as an adolescent, trying to be an adult, as opposed to, enjoying the time that was given to me to be a kid. I always had the mindset of trying to always want to be grown.
Yeah.
And that's what and a lot of kids are doing that nowadays, and it's bad because it's sad because it just passes on. But
How old were you when you think you started, like?
14, 15.
Okay.
Middle school area, where you have this. You think that you have it all figured out, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so.
I think that's all teenagers.
Right, but I mean, but as a black man, that's where everything starts. That's where they attack us at.
Right.
Because you get put into the judicial system.
Right.
They create you having this number attached to you, and it goes on, and it damages your whole life. Because from a credit standpoint, you can't get what you want. And when you want to get a job, it affects you because you have this and this and this on your record.
Right.
So that's the prime age that they attack us, and it doesn't help with the music that's being put out.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's going into the community. I was actually on the internet the other day, and I seen a little kid, TJ. Little kid named TJ. Yeah, I think he was 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. And was killed, and had his funeral. They had the little Sonic the Hedgehog guy pushed it. That to me was sad because he didn't even get a chance to live life.
Right.
Because so.
Yeah. So, okay, so with that being said, what advice would you give somebody at that age, or even to a parent who has children that age that may not know, like, what route to go? What would you suggest? Or even, I mean, just put it in this perspective, what advice would you give your younger self?
Take your time. Take your time, and just realize that life will deal you all type of different situations, right? So, but as a kid, you don't really realize and understand situations because the only thing that you got, whatever you have in your mind that you want to do is the only thing that you want to do,
right? And
you're neglecting everything else. What the people are trying to help you. Be open-minded to listen. Look, listen, and learn, love, life, loyalty. That's those.
Wait. Say it again.
Look, listen, and learn, love, life, loyalty.
Look, listen, learn, love, life, loyalty.
Right.
Okay.
You look, you listen, you learn. You know what I'm saying? You love life and you loyal to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
And those just have that consciousness of that.
Right. Yeah. Good stuff. Who are three? You mentioned, we had a conversation the other day. You mentioned a couple of different people that you've been able to interview and spend time with. So, like, who are the three most influential people in your life, did you think?
Right now, today, is Roy Jones Jr. being at the top of that, Hall of Famer. Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. Both of those guys are going to be Hall of Famers. Roy's already Hall of Famer. Bud is right on his way. He's the pound for pound king right now. And I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and it's Nelly. Nelly was one of the first people that I had an opportunity to be given the games from. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So and I credit City, and I credit Murph and Ali and all the rest of those guys. Taj, all the rest of those guys. I credit those guys for the opportunity because it was like an experience because I never had met the man, you know, and it took a situation to happen for that situation to happen.
So I'm curious about that now. Like, how did you even get into meeting them and like being in that?
Well, I lost someone dearly beloved to me. RP to, you know, my little brother, you know, where everybody said, you know, but I lost him, and I was at a time in my life where mentally I was completely confused, you know, and I just was just in a blah. I felt like I was just walking through space, you know, but living, you know, you know how they always say you're going through the motion, and that's what I was doing, just going through the motion. And I happened to stop by a casino, and I had $100 in my name, and I stood right here, and all of a sudden, guy comes standing beside me, and I look up, it's him. I don't, you know, I've never been the one to have been starstruck by anybody like that. You know, that's just not me, because you're a human just like I am, right? So I once the game got started, the dice was passed to me, and I rode for an hour and a half.
You rode for
the dice for an hour and a half. That's a long time,
right?
In the dice game, that's a long time. So, anyways, he ended up. I'm not gonna put out how much money he won, a substantial amount of money. So as we're getting ready to cash out, he's, you know, boom, boom. I had already knew City. City is the guy he wore the Band-Aid for. He was my partner. I already knew City. You know what I'm saying? And we went back. He was like, man, why don't you come back? I got my suite. Woo, woo, woo. So, you know, we kicked it. You know what I mean? And it was like it just connected. You know, I got a chance to go to a couple of shows with him on tour, and just listening. You know, being in the studio with him, just listening at the way the game that he has and how the game, it's work. Nobody's gonna outwork him. You see what I mean? And that's the thing that he has had, and he's booked up for the next 3 years right now.
Wow, Nelly?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's dope.
Yeah. That is dope.
Yeah, very dope. You know what I mean? And that's just and you know, he brought together a lot of people, a lot of, you know, as far as like, you know, Baby Huey, RP to him. You know, Chingy, he brought Jaquan, Jaquan, my people, Jaquan, Hood Hobby. He brought all of them together for one little tour, you know, and that was nice. A lot of people in the city don't really like him because they feel like he didn't come back to bring people. And who cares? Like, if you put yourself in a position to be great, then you're gonna be found regardless. So just stop worrying about, you know, like worrying about what
come back.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I heard, I don't know who it was, but it was either a quote or somebody just had said it the other day. Like, when you make it to a certain point, don't feel like you owe anything to your city. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course you want people to come back and put into the community, and I think anybody who gets to a certain status should put back into their community, but you don't owe them anything. You know what I mean? And I don't think people should expect it either. Like you said, if you put yourself in that position, you'll get there regardless.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just, timing is everything. You know what I'm saying? Time is everything. So you know, you know, I just try to just stay in line with it, with everything being positive. You know, and eliminating everything that's not. You know what I mean? You know, so
yeah, the distractions, all of that.
They everywhere.
it's kind of crazy how distractions can be.
Yeah.
Cool. So is there any topics that you might have thought about that you wanted to touch on? We actually talked about quite a few things the other day, but is there like one thing that you think needs to be said and put out there that we can dive into?
I feel as if the one thing that we lack as a people is togetherness. You know, and I'm not speaking on togetherness in a situation where it's a tragedy. I mean, we have too much general resources within ourselves to not have to reach for everybody else's hand. You know, I mean, there's things that if we just sit and put our minds, imaginations to whatever, channel it there in a way to where it's beneficial. Because at the end of the day, everybody we're pop-ups on the computer. You know, one day you boop, you pop up, and boop, you pop out. Right? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
So while we're here, what we need to be doing is, as a community of people, we need to be trying to figure out a way to get it back to where it once was, where it was the love. You know what I mean? And it has not to do with the type of love to where it's, you know, that kind of love, but it's the love of you look like, I love that. Right. You know what I mean? And I told somebody, genuine, right, you know, and for people out there, I mean, that may be from different races, just because people love their own don't mean that they don't love you. We love everybody. I love everybody, but at the same time, I'm not finna be, because I've been deceived and tricked for people that look like me. Right. So therefore, if it's like I have to keep an open mind to understand what kind of caliber person you are. Right.
That's what's up. So I like it. And then so for Huntsville, it's okay, how is it? Huntsville has this I don't even know what word I want to use, but there's this saying that people say, well, people like to believe that Huntsville has this crab in the barrel mentality. So you brought up community and us working together. And it's unfortunate, but I think that we need to definitely get that out of here. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get rid of it.
Yeah, and that's going to be difficult for the simple fact is because they've now been exposed to social media. They've been exposed to the fact that, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what's trending. This is what's popular. And it's the wrong thing. You know, 90% of the people that are in this city, when they first initially wake up in the morning, they ain't saying thank God for another day. No, first thing they're doing is grabbing their phones to see what kind of business is right. Exactly.
What somebody else is doing.
Right. So what somebody else is doing, and then just looking to see, putting their energy there. Right. You see what I mean? So, and it's funny you say that because it's like, I feel like everybody around here, they think that being like having like material, and it's not about that. Now it's good to have land, it's good to have, you know, nice house, etc. Because while you're here, you might as well try to enjoy yourself, right? You know what I mean? Because I know what it feels like to be home. I know what it feels like not to have an absolute soul there for you. It's just you. Right. You know, from the mistakes that you make in life, you go through those, and it creates growth within you. To make you be like, okay, I'm not resentful of what you didn't do for me. No, okay, I understand you was in a situation where you couldn't. Right. So I'm gonna be okay, all right, I'm gonna continue to move on. But now it's not to say that whenever you need me, I'm gonna still be there. Because I'm a genuinely unconditional type of person that if I like you and you my peoples, I'm there. And that's what we don't have. Right. You know, we don't have that.
Gotta get it together.
Always.
Because I mean, it's not a competition. One thing I feel about it is that people compete, or like they have something that they want to prove to somebody else. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it don't have to be that way. You know,
no, it don't.
It can be friendly competition, but we don't have to like compete to show that we're better than this person. Because at the end of the day, we all human, right? And the materialistic stuff is you ain't gonna die. You can't take it to the grave with you.
No, you're gonna wear the suit or the dress. That's it. You know what I mean?
That's gonna eventually go to waste.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was something else I wanted to touch on. I can't remember. That's okay. But earlier you mentioned like how being younger, you wanted to be grown sooner than you were, and you mentioned how that music doesn't help this generation
at all.
Let's get into that a little bit before we close and talk about it, because I don't think. And I'm really I like psychology. I really study energy and stuff like that, and I don't think people understand how vital and like serious it is when you listen to music and how it plays a role in your subconscious. Right. So what do you have to say about that part?
Well, for one, whenever we're born, our brains begin to start working, and it started to program.
I think it's before we're born.
Yeah, but I mean, your brain is once it comes from that dimension into this dimension is when your brain actually starts. Now, I understand what you're saying as far as whenever you're, you know, being conceived, etc. You know, you don't really have. There's not a brain. Gotcha. You see what I mean? But once you come out into this dimension here of the world, your brain automatically starts programming.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, and what I mean by starts programming is because in different households, in different cultures, they're raised different, right? And they're raised how they were raised.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And the things that they were taught, right? So you take a kid that's 5 years old that's raised in poverty, the only thing he knows or sees is this, you know, the mom doing this and the dad no longer around. So then you have this, you know, type of kid, right? Because this is all he knows. But then you have this same kid, the same age, right? That's from a different household that has both, right? And he's being taught different values and principles of life, as opposed to this one here. Now, this one here is going to focus on the fact of, I understand what it means to work hard to have whatever I have, okay, regardless of whatever. And this one here, it has the mindset, and as they get older, the mindsets will change, because this one here will teach them the mindset of being business-like and how to conduct. Now, this one here is speaking about the music. This one here has already been jamming that music that's speaking about some of the dumb stuff that's going on in the world, like just everything. So he already understands that, right? So this one over here is trying to take that and put himself into this situation to live this life. And this kid is living this life, you know. This kid here is not living this life, but in his mind he wants to live this life, right? So and as they grow up, this kid over here will make the mistakes, but he'll always have someone there to boom, 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 and it'll psychologically program in his mind that anytime that I get jammed up, I got somebody here. This over here, it won't take but a couple of times for him to realize that there's nobody there for me, right? So, and that's the mindset that how the conditioning and programming starts, because once you get up, and because there's no going backwards in life. As far as an age or anything, right? Because what's done yesterday is already done, right? We can't redo it. You know, a lot of people start their day off every day with the same repetitive thoughts that they had the day before.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And they wonder why they're having to manage their own stress, the anxiety, you know, and then they start to result to using prescription medications, drugs, alcohol. That's why you see all these tin buildings. It's a tin building with a top on it and a bar in there, and they put alcohol in there and they just poison you from the inside out. Because
they offer it and you decide to poison yourself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, America's
take responsibility.
America's the leading country in the world for alcoholism, drugism.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, prescription medications. They're leading the nation. They're leading the whole entire world. You know why? Because that's the money for them. You know, because they want you to go out, they want you to drink, and what we as a people do is we go out and get intoxicated and turn to Superman and forget the fact that, okay, he's sitting right here waiting on you, so once you get into the judicial system, you already been in it, now we just go ahead and get him away. We don't got to worry about him reproducing, him bringing it back forth. That's the reason why there's 197 million of them and only 43 million of us. 44 million of others.
Is it true?
That's very true.
Okay.
So, and they're dying off because they're dying off because they're doing all type of pills and all type of everything. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You know,
they're taking a hand of their own poison.
Well, yeah.
So I want to bring it back because I think that a lot of those decisions that people make are still influenced by the music.
Right.
So I think we need to be more conscious of what we listen to. I listen to all kind of music, don't get me wrong. So I'm not dogging any music, but I do most of the time program my subconscious with music that is positive. It talks about the things that I want, you know, gives me more peace of mind. It doesn't give me like a negative energy, if that makes sense. Right.
Well, they understand that if they control the media, they control the mind.
For sure.
So, you know, in my generation of music, when I was growing up, it was people like Tupac, you know, Biggie, you know, Eazy-E. So they were speaking different messages.
Right.
You know, the message they were putting out, they were letting us know that they don't give a damn about us.
Yeah, they were storytellers.
You know what I mean? They wasn't saying that you go out and ride on you. No, they was letting you know that they don't give a damn about us. But nowadays you go out in this music, they talking about what they did to their home a couple months ago. Right. You know, and it's like,
okay.
No,
it's not.
It's not okay.
So, with that being said, my last question for you is: what is one thing that you think you need where you are now, what's one thing you need to level up, whether it be your career, your life, like anything? What's one thing you think you need to move to that next level? Family, spiritually.
The one thing is letting go. You know, like we all have things, and in order for you to change, you have to be able to like let everything go.
True.
You know, not having the feeling of whenever you get around somebody that looks like you, that they're going to, the initial approach from them is going to be something that's a game that's run to you.
Or a threat, yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? So, and it's, our bodies are conditioned to have those feelings whenever they come through. As men, we have a gut, it's called gut instincts. Women, theirs is a little bit bigger because it's dealing with the universe, cycles and things. So, as a man, we just have to just like, you know, no matter what you come up with or what you say, it is what it is. But to me, to level up, I have to just continue to be disciplined, man. You know, stay disciplined. You know what I mean? Like, just stay disciplined, because like, and do it daily. You know what I mean? That's the reason why my company is Stay Conscious. Like, it's not just to stay conscious of the decision. It's to stay conscious throughout the fact of realizing that what we are given is life, and that's the most important thing that we have, right? So, you know, when we take it for granted is when we lose it. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's how I would level up. Be disciplined. Discipline is everything.
So y'all gotta be disciplined, all right? Let's be like Freddy here and discipline. Also continue to think about what you need to do to level up. And I do have another question. What is one thing, or what is a question that you ask yourself that you think that I didn't ask?
I don't really feel as if there's a question that, or particular topic, but if I was to have to come up with one, it's, I guess, how focused do you have to be to exercise? I mean, to get your body right. You know what I mean? Okay. You know, I mean, like, because that's where I'm at in life. I'm at the point to where I want to be physically in shape. I want to look good, but it's not just about that. It's about the fact of feeling good. Right. You know what I mean? It's about the fact of feeling good, because, you know, thoughts are the language of the body and feelings are the language of the mind. How you think is how you feel. So I want to make sure that however I'm thinking is how I'm feeling. And I want to always feel good. And what makes me feel good is working out. You know, keeping myself in shape, not feeling bloated and out of shape, and you know, and it destroys your self-confidence, you know, especially in the woman. You know, I have 2 daughters. I gotta keep raising them up every day, telling them that they're beautiful, to continue to, because it plants a seed. Right. Once you have that confidence in knowing who you are, can't nobody tell you who you are. Right. You know? Very true. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna share this with you and my listeners. It's something that I want to continue to do at the end of all my podcasts. And it's just basically a quote that I got from my mentor. And by the way, if you haven't checked the episode out with Mr. Proctor, make sure y'all go check it out. But I call it the Jbl Quote, but it goes like this. It says, life is good, people are kind, love with your heart, think with your mind. Write it down, live your dreams, believe it's true. Have faith and believe it's true, sorry. But I like that quote. I'm going to continue to push it out to the community. And again, I thank you for being here, sharing your story. And I think we got quite a few gems out of that. Yeah. And hopefully we'll see you again here.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.